The moment Meghan Markle allegedly slipped through a side entrance at the Met Gala, a question exploded across elite circles that nobody could ignore. How does someone who once stood at the center of global attention end up sneaking into the very room she was never supposed to enter? And more importantly, what happened behind those closed doors that has everyone whispering that this may have been the most humiliating night of her entire public life?
Last one, Harry and Meghan cancelled again.
Oh dear. There's trouble in paradise. Do you have access to the world's smallest violin? Because Meghan Markle's big commercial ambitions, Paul, are as a retail giant in the world of fashion.
For years, Meghan Markle carefully crafted an image of influence, power, and exclusivity. She wanted the world to believe that leaving royal life was not a loss, but an upgrade. Hollywood was supposed to open every door. Billionaires, celebrities, fashion icons, media executives, all supposedly waiting to welcome her into an even bigger world. But what if that world never fully accepted her? What if the most powerful people behind the scenes had already made their decision years ago? According to growing rumors surrounding the 2026 Met Gala, that decision became impossible to hide. The story begins on one of the most important nights in global fashion. The Met Gala is not just another celebrity party. It is the room where status is measured, the room where influence is displayed, the room that silently tells the world who still matters and who does not. And every invitation carries the approval of one woman whose influence stretches far beyond fashion itself, Anna Wintour. That is what makes the allegations surrounding Meghan's appearance so explosive. Instead of arriving through the grand entrance where cameras capture every detail, reports suggest Meghan allegedly entered through a side access point normally reserved for staff and event personnel. No dramatic arrival, no photographers screaming her name, no designer proudly presenting her on the carpet, just quiet movement through a doorway few guests would ever use. And immediately people began asking why. Why would someone who spent years building a global celebrity brand choose secrecy over spectacle? Some insiders believe the answer reveals everything. Witnesses allegedly described a woman who looked completely different from the glamorous public image people expected. Minimal jewelry, dark clothing, hair pulled back, nothing designed to attract attention. In fact, everything appeared designed to avoid it, almost as if the goal was not to be seen entering at all. Yet despite the attempt to blend in, one thing reportedly remained impossible to hide: the confidence, the posture, the constant scanning of the room, the awareness of where powerful people were standing, the behavior of someone looking for an opening. For a brief moment, according to accounts circulating afterward, Meghan allegedly found herself inside a private reception area where influential designers, executives, editors, and cultural power players gathered before the main event began. This was not the public spectacle outside. This was where the real influence existed. And for several minutes, everything seemed to be going according to plan. Then something changed. Not dramatically, not publicly, not in a way cameras could capture. Someone recognized her, then someone else, then another. The recognition reportedly spread through the room without a single word needing to be spoken. A glance here, a subtle look there, small shifts in body language, tiny reactions invisible to outsiders, and according to the rumors that followed, what happened next was even worse than being confronted. Nobody reacted, nobody welcomed her, nobody rushed over, nobody created a scene. Instead, conversations allegedly continued exactly as they had before. People turned back toward each other. The room moved on, as if she wasn't there. Think about how devastating that would feel. Not anger, not confrontation, not even rejection. Indifference, pure indifference, because rejection at least acknowledges your existence. Indifference suggests something far more dangerous. It suggests you no longer matter enough to provoke a reaction. The whispers claim that several people who once publicly supported Meghan were present that night. Individuals who had previously celebrated her rise, defended her during controversies, and helped position her as one of the most talked about women in the world. Yet, if the reports are true, none stepped forward. None changed the atmosphere. None altered the outcome. Eventually, according to multiple retellings of the story, it became clear that her presence could not continue. Not through public confrontation, not through security dragging anyone out, but through a message delivered quietly enough to avoid headlines and clearly enough to leave no room for misunderstanding. It was time to leave, the same way she allegedly entered. entered, through the side exit, back into the New York night. And as rumors began spreading online within hours, one uncomfortable question refused to disappear. Was this simply one awkward moment, or was it evidence of something much bigger? Because when a person spends years trying to prove they belong among society's most powerful circles and suddenly finds doors closing one after another, people inevitably begin searching for the reason. And according to those who have followed Meghan's journey closely, the answer may trace back years before the Met Gala itself, to damaged relationships, powerful enemies, and a pattern of behavior that eventually reached the desk of Anna Wintour herself. What makes this entire controversy even more explosive is that the alleged Met Gala incident did not appear out of nowhere. According to the narrative that has been circulating through celebrity gossip circles, this was supposedly the final chapter of a much longer story. A story about access, influence, reputation, and perhaps most importantly, trust. For years, Meghan was presented as someone uniquely positioned between two worlds. She had Hollywood connections, royal connections, media attention, and a level of recognition most public figures can only dream about. Yet according to critics, there was always a growing question behind the scenes. Was she building lasting relationships, or was she simply building opportunities? The distinction may sound small, but inside elite circles, it means everything. The rumor mill suggests that powerful figures within fashion and entertainment had gradually begun forming opinions that never appeared publicly in interviews or magazine articles. These conversations allegedly happened in private dinners, executive offices, fashion events, and industry gatherings where reputations are quietly made or destroyed. Publicly, smiles remained. Cameras continued flashing. Headlines continued appearing. But beneath the surface, something was changing. The turning point, according to many observers, came after several highly publicized projects failed to deliver the cultural impact many expected. The streaming deals, the business ventures, the attempts to create a new global brand independent of royal connections. Every project carried enormous expectations, but critics argued that the results never fully matched the promises. And in elite social circles, perception often becomes reality. That is why the alleged Met Gala rejection became such a powerful symbol. It was not simply about one event, it was about what that event represented. The Met Gala is viewed by many as a yearly scoreboard of influence. Being present sends a message. Being absent sends a message too. And according to the story being told by Meghan's critics, the night allegedly exposed a painful truth. The doors she believed were still open may have already been closed. Then there was the symbolism surrounding who was reportedly inside while she was supposedly outside. Celebrity friends, fashion executives, cultural power players, individuals who once occupied the same social orbit. Whether intentional or not, their presence only intensified the perception that Meghan was being left behind while others continued moving forward. And perhaps the most brutal element of the story was not anger, not confrontation, not public humiliation. It was silence. Because silence can be interpreted as something final. A public argument suggests there is still a relationship. A public feud suggests there is still relevance. But silence creates the impression that a decision has already been made and that no further discussion is necessary. That is the image critics attached to this controversy. According to the narrative, Anna Wintour allegedly never responded publicly because she did not need to. The absence of a response became the response. And in a world built on exclusivity, some believe that silence carried more weight than any statement ever could. Meanwhile, questions reportedly lingered about Prince Harry's position in all of this. If the rumors were true, what did he know? Did he support the plan? Did he oppose it? Was he even involved at all? Nobody seemed to have definitive answers. But the uncertainty only added another layer of mystery to a story already overflowing with speculation. And that is ultimately why this alleged Met Gala episode refuses to disappear. Because whether the rumors are true, exaggerated, or somewhere in between, they tap into a larger narrative people have been debating for years. A narrative about fame, about influence, about what happens when someone leaves one powerful institution believing an even greater future awaits on the other side. The most unsettling part is that the story may not actually be about a side entrance, a guest list, or even the Met Gala itself. It may be about something far more personal. The fear of becoming irrelevant. The fear of no longer being the person everyone notices when they enter a room. And according to the gossip surrounding that night in New York, that fear may have followed Meghan Markle all the way to the door of the world's most exclusive event, where the question was no longer whether she could get inside, but whether the people inside still cared if she was there at all.